planned to spend our time together this week in the 4th chapter of the book of Hebrews. But when I came to prayer yesterday morning, I felt compelled to deal with the subject of our faith. Immediately, my thoughts went to Hebrews chapter 11 and the Hall of Fame of faith, and maybe we'll get there later. But today I want to spend our time here in the final verses of Hebrews chapter 10, which does serve as a bit of an introduction to the Hall of Fame and those hallowed halls of Hebrews chapter 11. After some words of warning about falling away from the faith and returning to the works of the law, the writer urges his audience here to move forward with a fervent faith, strong enough to endure the tests and the trials that lay ahead. And brothers and sisters, that is exactly what you and I need in this hour. It's exactly where we find ourselves right now. We are in a fight to the finish. It is an endless fight, and therefore we need an enduring faith to see us through. And I want to remind you today that our faith is worth the fight. So with that in mind, I invite you to join me here in Hebrews chapter 10, and we'll begin with verse number 32. Number 1, to keep faith alive, we must remember God's performance in the past, but call to remembrance the former days. An enduring faith is an active faith, and it must be actively maintained. Now, this will not come naturally. It's going to take some action on our part. You got to make yourself remember. That's one reason I keep a journal, because I am so prone to forget the things I need to remember, and then to remember the things I need to forget. Read it again. But call to remembrance the former days in which after you were illuminated. I think that most of the time we get so focused on the fight that we forget about the light. Take some time to remember where you were when the light came on in your life. After you were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. This wasn't your first fight, and it won't be your last. This letter challenges these believers to remember the persecution, the pain that they've already come through. In essence, he's saying you were born in the fire. Why are you struggling with the smoke? Verse 33, partly while you were made a gazing stock, both by reproaches and afflictions, and partly whilst ye became companions of them that were so used. Don't forget that we're in this together. For ye had compassion on me in my bonds, and took joyfully the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that ye have in heaven a better and an enduring substance. He's saying you handled this so much better then than you're handling it now. What changed? I think part of it is that we could become so consumed with the fight that we forget about the light. We remembered then that in ourselves we have in heaven a better and an enduring substance. Secondly, to keep faith alive, not only do we need to remember God's performance in the past, but we also need to recognize God's providence here in the present. Verse 35, cast not away therefore your confidence. We must keep our confidence in God's providence. See, the temptation of the hour is when so many things are changing, so much is going wrong, the temptation is just to throw in the towel, to cast away our confidence in anything and everything. But we have got to stay confident, and we've got to stay committed. Look at verse 36. For ye have need of patience. The word patience here is also translated endurance. He's saying you can make it if you can take it. Ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God. There's where the rubber meets the road. Are we doing what God has asked us to do? If we stay confident and if we stay committed, we will be compensated. Let's put 35 and 36 together and read them. Cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward. For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of God, ye might receive the promise. Great recompense of reward. You might receive the promise. In this generation of instant gratification, we want the reward up front. That's not how it works, or else it wouldn't be faith. I was reminded yesterday of an interview Jim Collins talks about in his book, Good to Great. He had the privilege of interviewing Admiral Jim Stockdale, which was the highest ranking military officer, prisoner of war in the infamous Hanoi Hilton during the Vietnam War. He was there for 8 years. He was tortured some over 20 times during that imprisonment. And Stockdale lived out the last stages of the Vietnam War with no prisoners' rights, with no release date, and no certainty as to whether he would even survive or ever live to see his family again. When Collins asked him how he made it through, Stockdale said this: I never lost faith in the end of the story. I never doubted that not only would I get out, but that also that I would prevail in the end and turn the experience into the defining moment of my life, which in retrospect, I would not trade. Wow. Don't lose faith in the end of the story. Collins asked him who didn't make it out. He was shocked by Stockdale's response, for he said it was the optimists. The optimists, yeah, they're the ones who said, they put a timeline on the deliverance. They said, oh, we're going to be out by Christmas. Then Christmas would come and go. We'll be out by Easter. And then Easter would come and go. And then Thanksgiving. And then Christmas again. And so on. And this is what Stockdale said. They died of a broken heart. And this is what he said. This is a very important lesson. You must never confuse faith that you will prevail in the end, which you can never afford to lose, with the discipline to confront the most brutal facts of your current reality, whatever they may be. Listen, we may not be out by Christmas. We may not be out by Easter. But we are coming out. I don't know the date for your deliverance, but God does. And lastly, we need to rely on God's promises for the future. That last part of verse 36 said that ye might receive the promise. What is that promise? Verse 37 said, for yet a little while, and he that shall come, and will not tarry. Peter said in the last days, scoffers would come saying, where is the promise of his coming? We expect that from scoffers. But we live in an hour when even the saints have begun to question it. The key is in that phrase, for yet a little while. But Lord, it's been a long time. The difference is in the divine perspective of time and eternity. Paul caught it. He understood it. That's why he could say in 2 Corinthians 4 and 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. To keep the faith in this fight, we must remember that he is coming and it will be worth it. Verse 38, now the just shall live by faith. If we're going to live, we've got to live in faith. Now, the just shall live by faith. How are you living today? Are you living today? Verse 39, but we are not of them who draw back under perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. We need to settle it today. we are not part of them that go back. We do not have to become part of the falling away. God bless you today.